Here are the 4 psychological tricks that can change your life. Number 1. The halo effect. The halo effect is a cognitive bias that occurs when a person's overall impression of someone or something influences their perception of that entity's specific traits. In other words, if we see someone or something as good in one way, we're more likely to see them as good in other ways as well. If you meet someone who is exceptionally attractive or skilled in one area, you might subconsciously assume they are great in other aspects of life as well. To better understand this concept, let's take a look at some everyday examples. When a beloved celebrity endorses a product, we tend to associate the positive qualities of that celebrity with the product. Even if they have no expertise in that particular field, we assume it must be a great product. We often perceive physically attractive people as more intelligent, trustworthy, and talented simply because they are good-looking. If someone makes a great first impression, we may assume they are overall likable, competent, and trustworthy, even if we have limited information about them. It's partly due to our brain's tendency to simplify complex information. When we encounter someone or something, we don't have the time to evaluate every trait individually, so our brains take a shortcut and rely on our initial impression. So here is what you can do. 1. Keep in mind the first 5 minutes is crucial when you met someone new. 2. Don't judge anyone too fast. Number 2. The paradox of choice. The more choices we have, the less likely we are to be content with our decision. Even if our ultimate decision is clearly correct, when faced with many choices, we are less likely to be happy with what we choose. When you eat out, I often second-guess your menu choice. Online retailers offer an endless array of products, but scrolling through thousands of options can leave shoppers overwhelmed and dissatisfied. With so many shows and movies to choose from, you might spend more time browsing than actually watching something. This causes anxiety, regret, decision fatigue, and delayed decision-making. This concept reminds us that more isn't always better when it comes to decision-making. By understanding this phenomenon and implementing strategies to combat choice overload, we can lead happier and more satisfied lives. Number 3. Anchoring bias. The anchoring bias is a cognitive bias that influences our decision-making by giving undue weight to the first piece of information, or the anchor, that we receive when making a decision. This means that even irrelevant or arbitrary information can significantly impact our choices. For instance, when a real estate agent tells you a high initial price for a house, it can influence your perception of its value, even if the final negotiated price is much lower. Understanding the anchoring bias can be a powerful tool, as it allows you to set anchors strategically in negotiations, pricing, and various decision-making scenarios to influence others' choices or to avoid being unduly influenced yourself. Number 4. The focusing effect. The focusing effect is the cognitive bias that causes us to concentrate excessively on a single aspect of a situation while disregarding the broader context. It often leads us to make suboptimal decisions because we become fixated on one detail, neglecting other relevant information. This effect can be seen when people make decisions based on one prominent feature, ignoring other critical factors. For instance, a person might buy an expensive car because of its brand image, while overlooking the associated high maintenance costs. Understanding the focusing effect can help us make more informed decisions by reminding us to consider the full context and not fixate on one specific aspect.